All right, we in? Hot damn, baby. Oh, are we going?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, all right, sick. What's up, everybody? We did it, dude. 3 weeks in a row. We're so consistent. The Mostly Movies podcast. I'm your host, Christian Paul Goddard, as always. Some people are calling him the new Ebert and Ropert. Nick Radwanski, everybody. Give it up for him.
Hey, I forgot the clapping sound. I got to get that going.
Jordan's calling me. No.
We are the new Ebert and Roper.
Yes. It sounds like a law firm, but they're movie critics. It's probably a law firm somewhere. Thank you. We have a lot to get into today. We got a double feature.
Ooh, boy.
Because we didn't discuss the substance, right? What did we talk about last week? It was Speak No Evil last week?
So we recapped Speak No Evil last week. And I think as we get
all over the place.
Going, I think as we get going more and we start getting our feet under us and we start building a routine, I was thinking about this before. I think we're a little bit late because we see the movie and then all of our emotions are gone by the time we get to it a week later.
You're right.
Either we need to do instant reaction podcasts, which probably is the right way to do this.
A nightcast.
Exactly. Right after we see the movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll be night. Sometimes it won't be, but.
Yeah, I agree. Cause I always have like several points after we end the podcast and I go I wanted to say that, but I don't remember everything. Yeah.
Right.
And actually I have a couple points about Speak No Evil too that I didn't get to. But before we get into all that, guys, please head over to thescreengods.com for all of Nick's reviews and all of our podcasts and other content maybe coming in the future. But yeah, head over to thescreengods.com. Buddy, how you doing today?
I'm good.
What's going on?
We're wearing the same hat.
I know. It's crazy.
Exactly the same.
It's fucking
We didn't even coordinate this.
I know. You saw me wearing the hat the other night, and then you said, I want to wear the hat.
Well,
because you were like, I have the same one.
Well, yeah. Well, I think mine's Dry Tech. Now, is yours Dry Tech?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Feel it.
Hold on.
Does it feel soft and flimsy, or is it cotton?
No tech.
Yeah, I don't think yours. Mine is a golfing hat. This is a legit golfing
hat. Oh, yeah.
Hat.
I think that's what this is too, but it doesn't say Dry Tech on it.
We're doing our best Tiger Woods impression here. So I'm doing good. And nice. I'm excited to talk about this substance. And also, thanks for the Screen Gods shout out. And also, we are on Instagram, Screen Gods, and then on TikTok for sure. So that's where you're going to see reels. You're going to see sometimes I do instant reaction reels at night because Christian's too busy. So I do them. And, so we're going to.
You did it from your car.
I did it from the parking garage.
I know. No, but we love it. So check all that out, guys. Dude, I'm making pot roast.
Ooh.
How do you feel about the pot roast?
It's hit or miss. If it's got to be done right.
I know. I'm kind of scared about it. I didn't do potatoes because Haley's getting mashed potatoes from her new job later. So I left out the potatoes. So it's just beef, carrots, and onions right now.
I don't know that the potatoes really adds flavor into the roast. So
no, I suppose not. So what should we get into first? I guess the substance, right?
Yeah, let's get into the substance because I mean, if you guys see my review there, I had some things to say. Christian doesn't even read my reviews, I'm sure, so he probably hasn't read it. Facts. Those big.
Small facts. I watched the reaction videos for sure. I keep tabs on it, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Put in all this work, can't be bothered to read it, but that's okay. That's for you guys. It's not for him. I don't do it for him. But I am interested since he doesn't read my reviews. He is unfettered. Is that the word? Unfettered. He has no. I'm
Unbiased.
Not influencing his. Yeah, I'm not influencing his takes. So let's hear from you first because I've already done mine.
So love the cast. Dennis Quaid was great. I feel like it could have used a little bit more Dennis Quaid. Demi, more.
Demi, yeah.
It's Demi. It should be Demi.
Right.
I don't know why. Demi sounds so much better than Demi, and it's also just annoying to say. And I think she even got like upset about it, and there was like this whole campaign because people weren't saying her name right, like back in the day. I don't know why I faintly remember that. Anyways,
sounds like a fever dream.
She was great. The first 2 acts, I thought, especially the first act, it really built up like the suspense. Love that. It was kind of like the vibe of the movie the whole time was like very upbeat from the beginning, even with like just the sound, the score being just like like the whole entire movie, or at least the first part. And then the third act, it obviously just fell apart. No, the acting was great. I liked the premise. I don't think the premise was the issue, but I after the movie, I told you too. By the third act, I was like, "How are they going to land this bird?" And I was like, "Hey, they didn't. They just completely crashed the entire plane." And it got to a point because the gore was so crazy at the end. It wasn't even. It got to a point where it was just campy and cheesy, and it didn't even make you. I wasn't even grossed out. By the end of it, we just wanted it to end. Like, just get the movie over with. And that's the first movie where my girlfriend left with like 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go, and she wasn't even the only one. There was like 2 or 3 other girls.
She wasn't.
And everybody was mad by the end of the movie. They're literally everyone's saying the same thing, like just fucking end this thing. But no, I thought the premise was really cool. I liked how they were birthed out of their own bodies, and then it just simultaneously just continued to get worse and worse and worse. And I mean, the other actress was very hot, so I liked it. But I just at the end, it just got to a point where like, what are we even doing here?
Did you can you tell me her name? The other actress, if
I don't know.
Tell me her name.
No, I don't know her name. She's been.
Let me tell you, because she hasn't been in a ton of things. She's a newbie, and you really need to read my reviews because I think it's so funny when we don't coordinate and we don't talk, which we didn't. So, guys, we really didn't talk a lot. Go read my review and see how close you are to what I said. It's incredible. It's incredible how close you and I looked at this. Almost everything you said, I put in my review, obviously more eloquently and just better because I'm but, sure. But other than that, but I really think you should read this one because I think you'll find it amusing. But anyway, her name is Margaret Qualley. And
okay, so I think she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She was. That? Look at you. I don't need to because I did.
That's where I knew. That's where I knew her from.
And I have not seen that movie, which is hilarious because you've told me to, but I just never got around to it.
We will.
It's interesting that you say that. I'm just clicking this together because tell me who directed that movie.
Oh, QT.
And for those of you who are not,
that's how we address each other too. When I see him, I go, "Hey, QT."
Hey, QT. You hang out all the time on Mulholland Drive, right?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So for those of you who are not friends with Quentin Tarantino and don't call him QT, that's who that is. Well, check this out. Here, it's funny you say that because I had no idea because I didn't, know where she was from until I did my research for the review. And I'm just going to read you guys a snippet of what I wrote. And it all starts to make sense now that you're saying that. So here's this is just a snippet, just to give you a taste of my review. Here is me talking about the screenplay. So they would have gotten 3.5 flames for taking risks and elevating an otherwise straightforward idea and infusing an almost Tarantino-esque climax. I wrote that. I had no idea that he was related to her in any way. So what that tells me is he had influence on this movie, bro. Somehow, way, shape, or form. I think he was involved at some level.
And the ending was very much like the movie Carrie, Stephen King's Carrie. At the end, it's just a blood fest or whatever. But it really didn't.
It reminded me of the Kill Bills, where it was just everywhere.
Yeah. But I did like, and that's why I'll say I like the first act of the movie the best because it had definitely the more scenes that bugged me, I guess I would say. Like the blood and stuff, I'm so desensitized to it doesn't even matter. But the one scene where she's trying to get ready for her date, and she's trying on different outfits, she's changing her makeup, she tries to leave, and then catches herself in the mirror, goes back, and we've all, like, we can all kind of resonate with that. And I thought that was just sad more than anything, because she's like, I'm over the hill, nothing I do makes me feel good about myself, and that's obviously why she's turned to these extreme measures, right, to try and reinvent or be her younger self. But I thought that scene was more disturbing than the ending. The ending was just like, whatever. But
and again in my review I cover that too, because basically the screenplay, everything would have been they sacrificed the message for the shock value, unfortunately. And there was a couple of points to Christian's point, or who used to be C Killer and is now CPG. I can't keep up with his labels. But CPG said earlier is they could have landed the plane and kept a lot of the shock value, but still ended it, and it put a nice bow on it, and they just didn't. They just kept pushing until the point where it basically pissed you off or just got you annoyed, right?
Yeah, and I'll say, because I don't think her character deserved the ending that she got. She wasn't a bad person by any means. Matter of fact, she was the one getting screwed over by Dennis Quaid's character, because she was too old and they wanted younger talent or whatever. So like, I didn't view, like, she wasn't a bad character in any way, and they just gave her the most fucked up ending possible. While Dennis Quaid is virtually, he gets away with whatever, not gets away with anything, but nothing happens to him.
So
which, and I can't even say he's I can't even say he was kind of an asshole, but I mean, at the end of the day, he was just trying to keep the brand going and whatever. Well, so I don't even think he was a bad guy either.
He wasn't a bad guy, but he is an absolute symbol, and this was the whole point of the movie. He was an absolute symbol of what network producers have to do, and the type of person you have to be that type of to have that kind of position. Scumbag. And again, because not everyone will read the reviews, I will say there was a lot of other things in this movie that were really, really cool. I talked about Dennis Quaid and his character, so I won't touch on that because you've done a good job there. But I really loved. We have a section in our reviews, and if you're following us on the reels and on the socials, you'll see my instant reaction posts where it kind of gives the heat meter scores. And I gave the aesthetics on this movie 5, which is the top score, 5 flames on the heat meter. They did so much with so little in the sets. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, they just used hallways and doors and colors.
There wasn't a lot
such unique ways.
There wasn't a lot of different sets at all. You're 100% right. It was mostly in her apartment and mostly at the shoot, wherever they were shooting.
The studio.
Yeah, the studio. Thank you.
And then there was a couple other things split in, but the way they did it, again, read the review so you can see how much more detail I get into, but it was really good.
It was, and that made it feel claustrophobic.
Yep.
Because it was all in the same place for the most part. And like I said, with the score, I mean, it felt like I was on cocaine again. I kind of got PTSD because it was just all, like I said, fast-paced. So I thought they did a great job, and again, that's why it sucks the third act was so bad, because they built it up in such a great way. But I thought about it too. It's like, I don't really know how I would have ended that movie though, because it was really
done better. But
I think so too. But it was really a movie just about everyone's constant need for perfection. In our generation, or this generation, with social media and everything, Instagram and all that. So I just don't there wasn't really much more of a point than that. So I just think maybe that's why they're like, yeah, just fucking kill her and explode her brains or whatever, turn her into Frankenstein, workout Barbie Frankenstein.
Right. And I think that's where, I agree that it definitely agree that they and that's what I mean though. I think the message got a little bit lost, because if it was me, how I would have ended it is there's a scene where they finally face off with each other, which is kind of like, for those of you who haven't seen it,
That's what I was
facing
kind of thinking
herself.
was going to happen. Yes, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then when they both just kind of almost kill each other, that's where I would have landed it, and then done some sort of exit, montage of some sort, Fade to Black kind of thing.
I thought the same thing. I thought she was going to kind of wake up as her older self, and then her and her younger self were going to go at it or whatever.
Which is kind of what happened. The other thing I will say about the movie, and you touched on it a little bit, but another thing that they did really, really well is they made you uncomfortable, but really early, like right away uncomfortable. Like within 6 minutes.
The scene of him eating.
That too.
The food sound, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the whole movie, you're just kind of, gross. But never too much until it got just ridiculous. But for most of it, and that was kind of why I got such this is not going to win any Oscars. It's not that kind of movie. But
people are loving it.
Flames. I gave it 4 flames on the Exit Vibes because it impacted me, and that's very rare to leave a film and be like, oh shit, I'm going to remember that for a decade.
Yeah, no, people are loving it. So all right,
go see The Substance.
Go see The Substance.
In theater too. It's better if you see it in XD, probably, with all the sound, and like Christian said, the score really good in there. Do it.
All right, Smile 2. Well, let me say this too. About Speak No, and it's kind of ironic that we've been only watching spooky movies this month, but it fits obviously, and that's probably what we should do every October. But
it's a good call.
Yeah,
spooky month.
With Speak No Evil, the point I wanted to make about that, the best line in that movie was when the dad is like being his bitch cuck self and being like, "Why are you doing this to us?" And the guy goes,
"Oh, because you let me."
Because you let me.
Great line.
And I thought about that, and I was like, that's truly what makes the best scary. Not that that's top of my scary movie list, but it made me think about the movie The Strangers, the original Strangers.
Great movie.
What made that movie so creepy was it was basically the same concept. It was just a random home invasion for no rhyme or reason at all. And I wanted to make that point. I was like, that's truly what makes the best scary movies, I think, that creepiness factor. And that's I just like that line from Speak No Evil.
Well, and
it was so true. Right. It's like, because you're a bitch. That's why I'm doing this to you. And
which that's why that movie falls short. That's why. I mean, I probably, if we were more critics, we're not, right? That we're not really critics. We're fans of movies. So I don't go into the whole like, well, they could have changed this and tweaked that and get real deep with these things. But the reason it could have been even a way better movie than it was, because of lines like that. You just really landed that arrow, because that line, they could have built the whole movie around that line. And they didn't really. It was almost like an afterthought. It was almost like, what would go good here? We're not really sure what's happening with this movie. And someone was like, you know what? This line fits really nicely. And it's like, no. That should have been the whole movie right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they asked the director, they're like, why are you making this movie? He's like, because I can. Like, all right.
Well, bring that full circle.
That
was good.
I'm pretty really good. But Smile 2, so I think we conflated, we've had 2 separate experiences with, we talked about it with, it was Speak No Evil, right? We had the talkers behind us.
Yep.
So, and then the next movie was The Substance, and then we saw Smile 2 last night. And so the talkers were back, and the movie ended almost the exact same way as The Substance, or at least in similar fashion. And so we got, I think, the 2 movies conflated, because I thought the talkers were last week, but there was 2 weeks ago. So
you're right.
Yeah. But these should we get into this now or save the talkers?
No, because Smile 2 is and we're doing a more quicker instant reaction basically here. So
there's not a lot of meat on that bone, but
Right. No, I just mean Smile. Yeah. So let's get into it. So Smile 2 we saw,
Nick hadn't seen the first one.
I hadn't seen the first one. We'll get into the movie itself, but go ahead and talk about the experience again. Go ahead.
Again, well, actually, no, in reverse. The first act of this movie, I was falling asleep a little bit. The opening scene was great. Caught your attention. And if you had seen the first movie, the opening scene would have made more sense to you too, because the guy was from the first movie. But I thought the opening scene, definitely got you in. And
I will say for someone who hasn't seen the first one, I had no problem picking up what was going on. Like I could tell he was involved in some way, so they did a good job with that.
And it's kind of cool to be, you're just like, oh, that's really fucked up, not expecting anything.
Right.
But again, like the cinematography of this movie was also dope, with a lot of just like upside down shots. I love how every shot of the city in between scenes was flipped in reverse. It kind of like added to like the hopelessness of the movie, because the first one, it's just like both movies are just dreadful the entire time, and there's no levity to it at all. Every scene just gets worse and worse and worse for the main character. And so like that's
how the first one is too.
Yeah, it's the same exact way. It's just sad and shitty. But yeah, so I think the shots of the city, like New York, upside down, it just like added to like a vastness of it. It almost looked like the ocean, and it's just like despair and hopelessness. So I thought that was really cool. But there was a lot of scenes that were 15 minutes too long. This movie could have been cut down by 30 minutes, especially the first half of it. That scene, like we talked about with her and her friend in the apartment, it's just too long, and not a lot of things going on in the scene either. And they could have captured all those things in, I think, 2-3 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I liked the scene with like her backup dancers in the apartment. I thought that was really creepy and very well shot.
Probably the best scene in the movie. Probably.
Yeah. And we talked about this too, like how fun it must have been to be in that movie with just a stupid smile on your face. And I don't know, they're probably laughing the whole fucking time how ridiculous it was. But also Jack Nicholson's son in a movie for the first time I've ever seen.
Do you know his actual name?
Jack Nicholson Jr.
I knew you weren't gonna know. I knew you weren't gonna freaking know.
I do know it. Hold on. This is dead air, but
oh, you're killing me. No, we're not.
No, it's nothing.
Are you Googling right now? Don't bother.
No, I'm not. It's nothing crazy. I know it's like a standard name too. It's nothing crazy.
It's very basic. All right, it's 3
John.
letters. 3 letters.
Rob.
Ray.
Oh, Ray.
Ray Nicholson.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that at all. That's how bad. Yeah, no.
And I haven't figured out how to like screen share while we're doing recordings and stuff, but there is a side-by-side of him that you can Google of the shining smile of Jack Nicholson and then his son's smile from this movie. And you can definitely kind of see the resemblance. And Christian asked me, because I had no idea that Ray Nicholson was in this. I didn't even know Ray Nicholson was alive. So
yeah, I thought you would.
Like, did you recognize that guy? And I'm like, he looked familiar because I was when he was smiling.
He looks just like Dad.
Yeah,
looks just like Dad. Because I thought you were gonna like nudge me halfway through the movie and be like, I feel like I know who that guy is, but you didn't. So that's why I brought it up after. But no, he was great. The lead actress was great. Naomi Scott. Is there a more British name than Naomi? I don't think
probably, so. Probably, but not by a lot.
Naomi.
You got Naomi Watts, Naomi Scott, Naomi Campbell. They're all British.
Well, we also talk about this too. Every actor is British now.
Correct.
Except Chris Pratt.
We can call this the Things We're Learning segment.
Yeah.
Which is...
I mean, dude, literally every actor, you go, they're great. And then you hear them in an interview, you go, oh, yeah, there it is. It's every single actor. By the way, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, also totally unrelated, but side note, every singer is also Canadian. That's a thing that's happening now.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, go back to...
Or somewhat. So we'll get back to Smile, but Christopher Nolan, his new movie comes out July 2026, and guess who's casted in that? Only two people I know so far confirmed.
Are they British?
One's the other American Patriot actor.
Is it Idris Elba?
Nope, that would be sick though. Okay. But no,
I'm surprised hasn't gotten into a Chris Nolan film yet. Is it someone he always works with?
Nope.
Oh,
new kid, young kid. We were just talking about him too, being British.
Oh, we were?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then I have no idea then.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. He is young, but he's also done like 12 movies already, so I don't really think of him as young. So, but yeah.
Man, what a career for that kid. Just Spider-Man, and that's it. That's all you need. You need one.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We're still working on the timing of chemistry of our speaking over each other thing.
Well, it's hard when you're over webcam, dude, because there's a delay. Behind the scenes, folks, there's a delay.
Yeah, but that's part of learning the ropes, is you have to allow for a second. I wanted to say two things about Tom Holland. One, if you haven't seen the movie, where and I'm trying to remember the name of it now. I'm totally blowing this.
Oh, I know exactly what movie you're talking about.
It's when he was a kid. He was about 11.
Yep.
Okay, so The Impossible, which is based on the tsunami that happened in Malaysia.
So that's not what I was thinking of, but that's a great movie too.
I know the one you're thinking of, and he is not 12 in this one. That one.
No.
But if you want to see a glimpse of how did Tom Holland get to where he is, his acting in that movie, The Impossible, at 11 years old is incredible. So you should watch that. It's entertaining. It's a good movie, and it's based on a true story, so it's automatically you're a little more invested. Really good though. The one you're talking about is probably The Devil All the Time.
Yes, my man.
Great movie.
Great
movie.
Really,
Robert Pattinson, also British. So.
I'm telling you, dude. They run the industry. People think it's the other people, but it's not. It's it's the Brits, dude. They got it locked in.
Rails.
Yeah, I know. Back to Smile.
Smile 2 and Naomi Scott. She was really good. She's probably the best thing outside of the camera work that you were talking about. She's probably, and it is a little bit like It Felt Like That, right? It felt like, now this is the second time I'm going to say this, in the last two movies. The Substance felt like a passion project for Demi Moore, and this movie felt like a passion project for Naomi Scott, because it was a lot of screen time, a lot of face time, a lot of like close-ups on her and how's her emotion and how's she dealing with pain and how's she dealing with fear and how's she dealing with tears. It was a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It just seemed like it was dragging because almost every scene was kind of identical. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just like, you could have cut 3 or 4 of those out. Her pushing the old lady off the stage, great. That whole scene of her trying to do the speech was awkward as hell. And I got to say, the atmosphere of the movie, I was uncomfortable the whole time.
By design, though.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It really doesn't. It lets up in a way that, again, the scenes take too long, but every scene sucks in terms of like what's happening to her character. So it doesn't really let up. It was like every scene was that episode from The Office, like Scott's Tots, that no one can watch because it's too cringy. People just skip it because it's too. Yeah, right. That's how every scene felt, just cringy as fuck. But yeah, they could have cut down on a lot of it.
But not in a cringe way. It is more the over. They're building that suspense, right? And so the suspense just lingers.
Yeah, and you're watching this.
It's not
girl.
cringy. It's not cringy in like a stupid way. It's just cringy in a like, I don't need to be this uncomfortable this long. Like, let's move it along.
Yeah, I guess cringy is not the right word, because you're watching this girl's entire life unravel and her brain unravel, and so uncomfortable is definitely a better word for it. But I guess it makes you cringe physically.
Yes,
so I guess
yes, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, you're just watching this girl lose her mind, and it's also a terrifying, premise as well. Where you, in any horror movie, when you're just slowly watching, like The Joker or whatever, it's not horror, but in the same vein, you're just watching someone lose it, and that's always uncomfortable.
Right.
And then until they're, the ending.
Right.
It doesn't make you feel good. You don't go home feeling good. Put it that way.
So, quick question for you. Before you get into the talking in this movie.
Well, that's more of your cross to bear, dude, because you bared it.
I'll talk about it in a second. But before we get into that, if you had to pick a movie, which is the better movie in your mind in terms of if you could only tell our listeners to pick one to go see? They only have $12.50 in their pocket. They can't see both movies. Do you tell them to see The Substance, or do you tell them to see Smile 2?
I would say the Substance. If you've already seen Smile, then maybe Smile 2. I don't know. The Substance was more of a unique movie, where Smile 2 is, obviously sequel to Smile 1, so it's kind of the same thing. But The Substance had, a good message to it. So it's definitely more of a unique movie. Again, I really just like the atmosphere of that movie, the way it makes you feel, especially in theaters. It's like if we're talking about in theaters, definitely The Substance.
Yes, yeah, we're definitely talking about in theaters. Okay, you heard it here, folks.
Yeah,
The Substance. That's your homework assignment.
Yeah, but yeah, the Smile. The Smile. That little girl was great. The obsessed fangirl.
Yeah,
she was great,
and also the guy.
Yeah, the guy
Alfredo. He was creepy as hell. That scene was probably the most disturbing scene for me, because the way they filmed that too, with his clothes, and then they had the shit stained underwear.
Yeah. That was a nice touch.
They did some nice things in that movie.
Yeah, because that guy really would definitely have shit-stained underwear, for sure.
Oh, he was disgusting. And again, both movies, the uncomfort factor. Like that guy was uncomfortable from the moment you saw him. This is a deranged fan that went to her meet and greet in the movie, and he's got eczema all over his face, and you can't.
Yeah, he's disgusting. He's a leper.
He's disgusting. And anyway, it comes back later. So again, they're both good, but if you had to pick one, I think I agree with Christian. CPG giving you the reference there to go see The Substance in theater instead. Okay, real quick before we switch gears, because we spent a lot of time on reviews, which is good because that's what we're here to do. Mostly movies, not mostly other things. But the talking in this movie, I did an instant reaction in my car last night. I don't know what gave me more anxiety. The fact that I couldn't focus on the movie, which is already trying to build uncomfort and anxiety in you because of the type of movie it is, as we've discussed, or the fact that I had to try and not kill the people sitting next to me who are, first of all, there's 74 jump scares in this movie. So they're coming, but yet these people were surprised on every one. I don't know, like it's crazy. It's bananas. Okay. Bananas that they could be scared and not know it's coming every time. So that's that. Okay.
Especially because they're grown adults.
These were women in their late 30s, probably, maybe in their 40s or more.
Single women with kids
there.
Somewhere.
Dude, it was so frustrating, especially they let up a little at the very tail end, but for 70% of the movie, dude, they could not shut up.
Well, let me
brutal.
Let me paint the picture. So we walk in, and these people, of course, are sitting in our seats, of course. So we have to do that thing where you go, you're sitting in my seat, and then they're looking at their tickets or whatever. They're like, oh, my bad. Fine. But then, so we sit down, and we're like we're center. We're in the middle. And they're kind of fumbling around looking at our tickets. We're already in our seats. And one of them goes like, I think these are our seats. And I look at my ticket. I just shut that down immediately. I go, no, they're not. Like, I have my ticket right here. You can look at it, whatever. But so then they go, one of them makes a comment and they go, we should just be able to sit wherever we want. And you go, and the theater was pretty empty at that point. And you're like, well, yeah, you can, just not here where I am. You can go sit wherever you want now. But they chose
context. We had the best seats because they were in the middle of the whole theater. So that's why they chose them there. Because
right, they knew goddamn well where their seats were. Anyways, actually, I don't know. They were pretty fucking stupid. But so then the theater's open pretty much, and they choose to sit right next to Nick, not even a seat over.
Go one row behind us and take the center. They couldn't even do that.
But didn't they sat directly next to you, right? There was no space.
No,
in between.
No, I had to share an armrest.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what's more annoying: you sitting in my seats, telling me I'm in the wrong seat when you know I'm not, and then just sitting directly next to me, and then go on to just talk about fucking what Kim Kardashian's asshole's doing on the internet. It was crazy.
Dude,
it was insane. They were Nick and I literally look at each other at one point and just go, they're having a conversation. And one of them
in the middle of a movie where they should be paying attention.
Yeah. And then commenting on, of course, every single time things get tense, they're commenting on it. Every time anything of importance happens, they comment on it. One girl left to go to the bathroom, comes back and just asks for a dissertation on what she missed for a minute and a half. She goes, "What happened?" Just loud.
All the classic things that you think when you make fun of movie talkers, they did them all. They're talking during the previews. They're talking during the middle of the movie. They're talking about not the movie. They leave, come back, want to get caught up on the movie that they're not paying attention to in the first place. All the red flags of a stupid movie watcher, and they're and look, I get it. Like they got their girlfriends together. They want to share the movie together. That's and I'm gonna get real gender specific here. Girls just love to talk. They do. They cannot help themselves. They gotta talk out loud all the time, and they gotta say what they're thinking. They have to. I don't know what that is. Luckily,
dude,
the women in my life, they don't talk in movies though. Yeah. They talk everywhere else, but not in movies. And neither does your girl. Your girl is more irritated probably than me. And
dude,
I'm glad I could do her a solid.
I had several things going on. I had the intensity of the anxiety of the movie. I have the anxiety of my girlfriend wanting to. Obviously, we all want to say something, but we can't. We're all just bubbling up. I'm hungover. I'm not feeling good as it is. And then these people, and it's so much worse if it's kids, when it's teenagers, you have that lifeline where you can go, they're kids, reel it in. They're fucking kids. I don't think I've ever been that bad, but we've had our moments as teenagers in a movie theater for sure, especially at scary movies too. It's usually always a fucking shit show. But when it's fucking grown adults, it's like, hey, toots, get a fucking wine at the bar and pass out halfway through this thing. All of you take a collective nap, take a Xanax, and go to sleep. I don't know what, but yeah, it's we're on a bad streak right now for sure. But it is something about horror movies where you find this more.
You know what? You totally just blew my mind with that, because as you said, I was like, you know what? That is part of it. There's something about these suspense movies because it's like their way of coping with the anxiety.
Yes, 100%.
We cope with
where you just go, and they go, "Who are you voting for?" They start talking politics. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I appreciate you bringing that up, because that'll help us. That means that we don't need to avoid all later night shows, but just during October and during these types of movies, it does bring us. I think also it brings a certain demographic of people, right? People that go to Tom Hanks movies to see him do a drama are probably not talking most of the time. So
that was,
you know what I mean?
A very gentle way of putting that. Very well done, sir.
All right, so
yeah, because it is, because it's mostly younger, except these three hoolas. But
all right, well, they've already sucked enough time from us, and we need to get to our another segment.
I know. I hope they can't pay the rent next month.
Oh, shots fired.
Anyways, moving on.
All right, you have a segment. Love it. we got to do it every week. And the segment, if you haven't heard, is called "What Stinks." And so we're gonna
fly right in, baby.
Hit me.
Well, it has to, and I don't want to talk too much sports on this podcast, but it has to be the 49ers. I like I said to you the other day, I've never been personally offended by a team's performance. I was personally offended by our entire team's performance all the way around. This season is over. Deebo Samuel was on the field for 5 minutes. He's knocked out. Brandon Ayuk sits out an entire preseason, takes the same deal we offered him 6 months ago. He's out for the season, blows his knee out. He misses a catch that would have turned the game around, blows his knee out. He's done for the year. Brock Purdy, Jesus Christ, kid. What? You're broken. You're absolutely broken. And Kyle Shanahan, try a halfback toss, huh? Try a power sweep, huh? Jordan Mason up the middle 42 times, going nowhere. Just keeps running it up the middle. It was disgusting. And you just go, is it over? Is the Shanahan window over? I don't trust him anymore. I don't trust this team anymore. It's in shambles. And then you have Patrick Mahomes on the other end of this thing, running down the sideline. Everyone's so afraid to touch him that he literally stops on the sideline. The people are missing him. It's like the fucking Matrix. And he scores it's you just go, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So, couple things, folks. One, as you could tell, he's pretty fired up about this.
I'm out of Mountain Mike's. Pissing myself. I've eaten 16 salads just to cope with this fucking game. It's crazy.
So
they can't get the audio right.
Speaking of getting the audio right, just a pro tip for CPG: when you're in a rant, bring the mic away from your mouth because you're screaming. It's offensive, like the Niners. But no, I feel your frustration, and there's not a lot more I can add. For context for listeners, we've been Niner fans since we were kids. This is not a bandwagon thing. We grew up with families from the Bay, and it is. They stink. Then I don't think the window is over. Shanahan's a really good coach, and it just is what it is. But I do agree. The window's over. Tear this thing down, rebuild, start over, and get moving on. So the Niners stink this week, and I don't think we need to say more.
No, that's it.
I'm sorry. It's
all good. I got one more real quick. Oh, we got time. We're only at 40.
No, we got time.
We got time.
Go ahead.
This annoyed me even more. So the head chef at my new job, has now told me the same joke 4 times, 4, maybe 5 times. He keeps telling me the same joke. It's crazy. And the joke is, it's not even, it's, so there's this Korean movie called Train to Busan. And it's about these, I think this guy, I don't know, I've only seen very little of the movie, but it's about this guy on a train from this place called Busan trying to escape a zombie apocalypse. Right. So the joke is there was this guy who came into the restaurant, and he goes, and because the SAC RT stops right in front of our restaurant, the train. And so he goes, this guy outside, he told me the train out there is like the train to Busan. And I just said, that's just the best reference I could ever think of. He said this same thing to me now verbatim 4 times.
Was that the joke?
That's the joke.
Say it again.
He goes, this guy who's like the train out there, it's really like the train to Busan.
That's not funny.
And he just goes, oh, I mean, it was kind of funny at the first time. I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of funny because it's drug addicts.
Oh, because it's
whatever.
Okay, because it's filled with
yeah, like zombies, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
That's his reference. That the people on the train are like zombies. That's the reference.
That's the reference.
But if you haven't seen the movie, first of all, it falls on deaf ears, so that's a risk already.
Dude, first off, he's taking a shot in the dark because the fact I even know that reference.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy. But now he's double, triple, quadruple down on the same joke. He keeps telling me the same joke. And I can't.
You're the only one that's seen the movie.
I can't. But I'm just like, dude, I can't. So my laughter just keeps getting faker and faker every time he tells me the same thing. And I'm also just like, how do you not know this? Do you have dementia? It's like he's Joe Bidening out. He keeps telling me the same thing. Like, how do you not realize you've said this to me 4 times? So now I'm just keeping track. I just want to see how far this train's going to go. How many more times can you?
Nice pun.
How many more times can you? I mean, I'm sure I maybe repeated something maybe once or twice to somebody, but it's like your uncle every Christmas who has the same fucking joke. And you're just like, we've heard it, man. Why do he keeps pushing this on me? It's crazy. Anyways.
That is crazy because this is a Korean movie.
Right.
So let me ask, is he Korean?
Nope. But
that's
his wife
even
is
more obscure to me. Okay, there we go. Because the owners of your restaurant are Asian, so that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, the owners are Korean. Yeah, tell her the joke. Tell the owner the joke. She would love it.
I think that's the problem. He's played his audience out because there's only so many people getting this joke. All right, well, that stinks. Hey, tell the joke once, twice to test it out, and then you're done. That's it. So
yeah,
sorry,
I just
man.
Sorry.
You should turn the tapes on him. You should do.
Should I hit the? I should hit him with the joke.
Hit him with it before.
That would be fucking crazy, dude. What if I did just said it verbatim too, and then just acted like it was? But the thing is, he would go, "That's a good joke." he wouldn't even remember.
Let's experiment with this. That's your homework assignment this week. Fit it in and then bring it back to the listeners. What did this guy say when you said it? And you got to deliver it. And you got to deliver it with a wink too. And see what he does.
I'll try, dude. I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough mish.
You can do it
because he could call me on it. He could call me on it. He'd go, "That's my joke," and I go, "I know you told me 4 times."
That's the point. And then you guys will share an awkward moment, but it'll be over. Okay, so right. I got to get into my what stinks, and I'm glad you took the 49ers one because it was low hanging fruit, but it needed to be said, and you said it with much more gusto than I would have. I would have said it more disheveled.
Well, I'm offended.
So for me, what stinks this week, the Dignity Health Mercy Medical Group call center. They stink. And by they, I am looping up an entire group of people that have this job into one man. And I would love to tell you his name, but I can't because he answered the call center without giving me his name, and that's already off to a bad start.
Classic move.
Quick context. I got new medical coverage, and I needed to schedule an appointment, and I was having a bunch of issues with their portal, their app, like it just wasn't working. So I called the IT, their tech support line, I guess is what you would call it, and this guy picks up the phone, and their app for Dignity Health is called My Portal. But you would think that when you pick up the phone, your script would be, thanks for calling Dignity Health. This is the My Portal support, something like that, right? No. This is how this man picks up the phone. My Portal, how may I help you?
He said, "Sup."
He didn't even say that, but yeah, he was definitely, that's how he said it. Very casual. My Portal, how I help you. And I immediately knew from the tone who I was dealing with, which is unfortunate because you can, like, I work also context. I'm a call center manager, so I've been in this business forever. So, I was like, this is going to go very poorly. I immediately knew. So because I'm in the business, I give benefit of the doubt. I try to articulate things so that they can understand it. I want them to know that I'm not a jerk. I'm just having issues I need solved. And so I said, I got these 2 issues. I don't know if they're related or not. They seem like they might be separate issues, but I'll explain them. And I quickly explained them, but I didn't tell him a long story. And his response after it was done is, "That sounds like the same problem. Hold on." Just like that. So I'm like, all right, okay. Like I said, I already expected this is how it was going to go. So I just let it ride. And he goes, all right, you need to do this, and that's what's going on. And, if you do that, you that should get you all, set up.
This guy's at his desk like this.
100%. 100%.
He's biting his nails.
Dude, he's biting his nails, or he's chewing sunflower seeds and spitting them in his hand. I don't know what he's doing, but that's exactly what I was picturing. He might even be in the dark too. That's possible. So he gives me like some direction, and I go, okay, well that sounds a lot like something I've already done. But because I'm in the business of call center stuff and troubleshooting and stuff, so I said, but I'll give that a try. And basically what it was is he goes, and this was convenient. He's like, well, you should have got a link that, I'm sorry. I skipped over one thing. What he said to me was, all right, well, here's your problem. You got level 2 access. And then just leaves it. You have level 2 access. First of all, I'm a patient with a medical thing. I'm not calling you about a Dell computer or internet permissions. So when
FBI classification, dude, you're not on G14.
That's literally what it was like.
On G14, dude.
That's exactly G14 classified. Yeah,
that's good.
That's a Rush Hour 2 reference in case you guys don't know.
Rush Hour 1.
Rush Hour 1.
Yes.
Rush Hour 1.
Great line where he just goes, "That's good."
That's good. Yeah. G14 classified.
That's good.
So that's what it was like, and he lists, but no explanation beyond that. So I say,
so you need level 3 access, dude.
So I say very calmly, okay, well, I'm a patient, so I don't really know what that means. and he goes, oh, what should have happened is you should have got an activation email. Did you get an email? And I said, I haven't seen it. So of course I pull up my email, and lo and behold, there's an email at the top of my inbox, activation email. Coincidence? I don't think so. So I'm like, all right, well, I have one now, which is funny, but I wasn't sassy. I just said, okay, I have one now, so I don't know if maybe you reset it or what, but I'll go through this. It does sound like something I've already done and it didn't work, but I'll try it, right? Which, by the way, I was totally wrong. It basically was the same thing I had done, but because I did it through a different link.
What are you trying to do here? Schedule an appointment?
That's it, dude. I'm just trying to get in, but this is new medical coverage, so I have no registration with these guys. I'm starting from scratch, so it's a whole thing. Dude. But to put a bow on this, because I don't want to take forever on this, that was all whatever. I was annoyed, but expected it. Then I said, but hey, you know what? I'll try this, and if it doesn't work, I'll call you back. And this is how he ended the call. Click. No, try that and call us back. No, I said...
He iced you?
Sounds like something he iced me. I said, I'll try that, and if I have any problems, I'll call you back.
You just hung up?
Click. Just hung up, dude. And I just was like, dude, I was already frustrated, obviously, because I've been jumping through freaking hoops. And you guys can all relate to this. When you set up with a new portal or new app or new shit, and you've never registered before, and this is medical, so there's 15 forms I got to fill out. Like, it's a whole thing.
Dude, whenever the word portal is mentioned, it's a nightmare. Whatever is about to happen next is not going to be fun or good for anybody.
That's probably a movie they've made already into a horror movie. It's probably called The Portal, and it's probably released in October.
They could definitely be a horror movie based off of talking to a call center representative, where it's just 100%. Shot like that Ryan Reynolds movie Buried, where he's just in a coffin the whole time. It's just a shot of you on the phone the entire time with a call center representative.
The only redeeming part of the whole experience was that when they put me on hold for the initial transfer, they had that classic hold music that you see on TikTok.
Is it the Jason Voorhees one? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is about that whole music. It gets everybody going. It's fantastic. Other than that, they stink. And that's what stinks this week. So that's the end of that segment.
I hear you. If I ever wanted to run for elected office, I couldn't do it because someone would dig up my customer service calls to Sprint and
or CarMax.
CarMax was in person. I did that on site, bro. I didn't do that over the phone. That was in person. Am I not legally allowed on the premises? Yeah.
You got a restraining order with CarMax?
Yeah. Honestly, though, the camera footage of that was probably hilarious because it's just me being like,
it's just you Costanzaing.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
But yeah, no. But the way I've spoken to some Sprint customer care representatives is reprehensible, and I'm not proud of it. But You've
matured.
Yeah, I like to think, but it's so hard not to. Obviously, you've been in this business forever, and you are a mature adult male. But it is. I don't know what's so. It's like road rage when you're in a car. There's just something about being in a car that triggers people, and that's my road rage. Customer service. It's like you're just kind of trapped in this never-ending loop of nonsense, and the people who you're talking to are like on their second marriage and half a bottle of Jack down deep. So,
well, a lot of them are just not married because they just can't commit to a relationship. But I will say this: there is a really quickly, just to hammer your point home, because I have been in the industry.
Hammer, baby.
All of my customer service team is offshore, and the reason for that is because they treat customers like humans. So, like, and it's different than when I say offshore. I don't mean like you call it for tech support for like computers and you get India, which in a lot of cases, but at least with that, you might have trouble communicating with them in some cases, but you're not being yelled at, you're not being berated, and you're not being treated like a pile of garbage. My customer service team is actually out of the Philippines, and so they're really caring people. You can't find those people in the US. They will not do these jobs. So part of it is we get what we get. Americans don't want to do that job, so that's where we're at.
No, definitely, because I would come bomb that Sprint customer care's house if I knew where they were. They better take them offshore. That's the only place they're safe. I can't get my mitts on you, or anybody else for that matter.
Great. I hope that gets edited out so we don't get put on the FBI watch list.
They're T-Mobile now. It's T-Mobile now, and they're cool. We got a good rapport. I love Interpol.
I love a good Interpol reference. All right. Is there anything else that you want to cover? We got like maybe a minute left.
No.
I got a dinner date that I got to get to.
Where are you going?
It's been a good pod.
Talk to me. Where are you going?
There's this little local spot in Sacramento in a town called Natomas, and it is a place we've been going, a little hole in the wall. We've been going there for years. It's called Anthony's. It's a little Italian place, and they have the whole red and white tablecloths. And
why? This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
Well, we went a lot when we lived downtown, but those were dark days for you. You were in a different place. You were not really coming around at that time.
I've never heard of Anthony's in Natomas.
Yeah.
All right. What are you gonna get?
Maybe you should take us up on our dinner invitations more often.
I've never been invited to Anthony's.
Oh wow, that's fake news at its finest. What did you say about it?
What are you gonna get? What do they got? What are we talking here? You gonna do a little lasagna, a little bolognese?
Their lasagna is tip top, so I might.
But you don't eat. You don't eat anything these days.
I'm on a 3-week hiatus because I went so hard with the wedding. So
love that.
Yeah, I mean you can see it in my face already. I'm already bigger from the first episode because I've been eating.
That's just in your head, dude. That's a substance talking.
No, it's literally in my head, the substance talking. I know. Hey guys, great
back,
pod.
Baby.
Go see The Substance, and if you have time, go see Smile too. Both are worth your time. I enjoy them both.
Yeah. So, what do you want to see next? I've picked the last 3. No, 2.
You know what? Honestly, I need to do research to see. So I will let you know. We're gonna do a reaction. I think that's the better way to do these pods. So we'll figure that out. I love this pod, talking so fresh on Smile 2 and kind of things that are fresh in our mind. So reminder, guys, go see our reviews. I don't have the Smile 2 full review up yet. The Substance review is up there at thescreengods.com. I will have the Smile 2 review up by end of day tomorrow, end of day Wednesday, the 23rd. So go check that out. And we have our old pods on there as well. The last couple episodes are on there. And then again, follow us on our handles. So Instagram, we're on TikTok and Facebook as well, and YouTube, all those.
Everywhere. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You're the best. And we'll see you next week.
All right. See you later, guys.